Hey there. I know I have said in a video before, actually not too long ago, that I'm not really good at talking about my personal matters and things that I'm going through. But God has a way of changing my mind. And so I want to share a verse with you. I don't really know how I'm going to do this, but I would like to share, I'd like to share with you a little about my life with my mother, or my mom. I call her my mom. My mom moved in with us back in 2020. I believe. She had her stroke, and it was actually New Year's Eve on 2019 to 2020, so it was in January. Mom had a stroke. Actually, she had several strokes after that, but anyway, she moved in with us, and we've been taking care of her, letting her live with us, and actually had to get guardianship of her. And so I'm not sure what kind of message this is going to be for anybody, but it means a lot to me to be able to talk about this, because mom and I had a pretty rough relationship in the beginning for the most part of my life, but because of God's grace, I was able to have her in my home, and God allowed me to actually love her and be in a relationship with her and take care of her, and actually see how much she meant to me and how much she loved me. And so the news is that she passed. She left us Monday, April 25th was her last day here with us. And Mom always let me talk to her about Jesus, and so that's where my joy is. Mom was a very good listener, and for the most part, I guess you could say her and I came together because of Jesus. And so talking about his life to me is as good as talking about her life, because I walked through a lot of valleys with her, and because she let me share my relationship with Jesus with her, I've had a deeper understanding of who Jesus is and what Jesus means to me in my life. And so I want to read this one verse, and I'm going to get off of here because I'm going back to work today, back in my truck here. And so this is the verse that God gave me while I was up in the hospital with her to comfort me. And it's in John 10:9. It's actually John 10:10. It says, "I am the door, and if anyone enters through me, he will be saved, and will go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come that they may have life and have it abundantly." Having abundant life is living in the Spirit. And our presence, my presence with my mom and her presence with me was very powerful. But when I was given this, I remember, and I always will be, every day be reminded and brought back to the Lord and His Spirit, and how much more powerful His presence is in the Spirit than it is for us being here in the flesh. And in this verse, looking at Mom and being with her in the hospital on her last days, she was actually in the hospital for 3 days, which also was very powerful to me, because what I would have told her was, Mom, it's okay, because, which I did tell her. I had a lot of conversation with her in those 3 days, and reminding her that her time here was very precious. But now it's between her and God, and now she's going to have even more abundant life than she ever had here. And that's where I think our abundant life comes from. It's not that, we can gather all we want here. We can have all the material things we want. We can have, success, and we can have the abundance of friendships and the abundance of family and stuff, but that's not where I believe the abundant life is. Because right now, just like I said, with Mom and talking to her about Jesus, that was the most abundant that I've experienced in my life, with talking about Jesus and letting God's Spirit guide us through every single storm that we go through. And that's how truly that my joy can come from the Lord. And the thief, okay, that's when I was hearing this, is God was reminding me, the thief comes to steal so that we don't have life. And so I see it as the flesh. Okay, and God was saying, don't let this flesh steal your joy. Okay, the thief is coming to steal your joy, and if you are fixed on it, if you're fixed on the flesh, your joy can be taken from you. Just like the thief, he says he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And that's not what God has for us. God has His Spirit ready for us. He has His Spirit preparing a place for us. And that is peace and joy and kindness and in love. We're all wrapped up in His love. And so that's where I know Mom is resting now, with God's love, where she started from, the seed. A seed is only a seed until it's planted, and when the kernel falls away, the seed is in the earth, and when the kernel falls away from it, that's when it becomes full grown. It begins to grow and become what it is. And in a way, I can kind of see that, I being, in between my father and my mother, my mom and my dad, they have brought me into this world, into God's plan. His plan is much greater than ours. And so, not that my dad has not passed away, but when we grow apart from our parents, it's like we are birthed in them, and then the seed falls away, and then we have this growth. We become who we are, and that's I just believe that's what God has intended for us, is that we are apart from Him. We have come apart from Him, but it's because we need to grow into who He's made us to be. And it is just like Jesus. We are just like Jesus. And so I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I appreciate appreciate you listening and being there, and maybe this will have an effect on how I share my life, because Mom was always ready to listen, when I get home from work, and she was always ready to hear about my day. So it's important. It's very important that we have a spiritual family to listen, and a spiritual home where we can gather together. So wherever that is for you, be blessed, and I hope that you have all of God's grace surrounding you, and all the peace and the joy that you can fathom today. So be safe out there. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.